Hi, this is Steve with HomeStrung Jewelry, and today I'm going to show you how to make these ladybug in a flower earrings. Materials you're going to need to make these earrings is, first off, you're going to need 20 gauge wire, and then you're going to need a couple of beads. Here we're using the lampwork ladybug beads that were in the November Gemstone Orphanage box. But you can use any 8mm up to 10mm bead that you wish, and we'll show you some examples of those in a few minutes. Tools that you're going to need. You're going to need a pair of chain nose pliers, you're going to need some flush cutters, and then you're going to need some sort of a rounding mandrel. Today I'm going to be using these stepping pliers, or they're called baling pliers or looping pliers, but you also could use a large round nose plier, or you could even use some sort of a mandrel as long as you can do 6mm, which is the size we're going to be using. In addition to that, we need a ruler and something to mark the wire. I'm using a Sharpie here. And then you might wish to have some other pliers like a flat nose. To begin with, we're going to cut 7 inches of wire for each of the earrings. Then we're going to take, I'm using 20 gauge copper wire today that's dead soft, and I'm going to clean it first using some steel wool. This serves a couple of purposes. First off, it cleans any oxidation or oils that were there from the manufacturing process. It also straightens out the wires somewhat. Now, in addition to the 7 inches of wire for each of the earrings, you're going to need additional wire if you decide that you're going to be making ear wires with this as well. Now, to start with, we're going to take the wire, and we're going to take the ruler and our Sharpie, and we're going to make a couple of marks. The first mark we're going to make is at 1 3/4 of an inch, and then an additional 3/4, which takes us up to 2 1/2, and then 3/4 more, which is the 3 1/4 mark. So you can see the marks on there. We'll give these just a minute to dry before we go on. Now, if the marks have dried, we're going to take our chain nose pliers, and we're going to skip this first mark, go to the second mark, and with our chain nose pliers, we're going to grab the wire just past that mark, and then we're going to bend the wire. The reason we're grabbing it past the mark is because we want the bend to occur right on top of that mark. Bring it part way around. We're going to do the same thing with the third mark. Again, grab it just past the mark. Maybe a little bit more. And then we're going to bend it. And that way the mark will be right in the center of the bend. Now we're going to take, just using our fingers, we're going to squeeze these together. Finish the bend. Then I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to grab the wire at the bend, and I'm going to squeeze these wires, pinch them together so we have a very tight bend in the wire. And you just take your time here, go slowly. You don't want it to flip around. If you just take your time and squeeze it, you'll feel it when it starts to shift, like it did right there. Pinch that down. You see how nice and tight that is? Let's go over and let's do the next one. Like I said, there's no hurry on this. Just take your time, fill it through. And again, we have a nice tight Nice tight fold. Okay, now the longer end of the wire, we're going to grab the wire just past this fold that we've got in there, and we're going to bend it. Then we're going to take our pliers and squeeze this one shut. And we'll do it again. We're going to make a total of 5 bends for right now. So again, I'm grabbing it just past where that other bend is. Fold it around. Let's pull it up away from the other wires. And we're going to pinch it together just with our fingers at first. And then we will come in with the pliers and grab it and squeeze that bend. And we're going to do one more. Pinch it together with our fingers. Grab it with the pliers. And squeeze it shut. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open this up. And you should have something that looks a little like this. I'm going to grab the baling pliers, and I'm going to use, this particular mandrel shape is approximately 6 millimeters. And we're going to start here with the short end and just make a loop in the petal. Go to the next one, grab it, make the next loop, and the third. I'm going to just pull this around, shape it a little bit. And the fourth. And the fifth. And the sixth one. This is where we have the first mark too, so don't go beyond that mark. Now ideally, I will have both these tails on the same side, and I'm just going to straighten up the loops a little bit. You can see it's starting to look like a flower. Now this wire, this short tail that we've got here, we're going to need to secure the end of the flower with this. And so I'm going to pick a point on this loop and I'm just going to bend it out. I'm going to take it and run it down through the flower over that long wire. And we're going to wrap it around the wire. And this is where it can be handy to have an extra pair of pliers, like the flat nose, and I can hold these two petals together so that they don't become malformed. I'm going to take that wire and wrap it around the long wire. And I'm going to cut it just so I can make it a little more manageable. So I've got it looped around the long wire. I'm going to trim the tail. And I'm just going to tuck that tail in. Okay, there's our flower. And I'm going to want this end, I want 3 petals on each side. So I'm going to bring it over just a little bit. We're going to add our bead, so I'm going to pull it up. Grab one of our ladybugs. And then put it on the wire and then press it down. And then I'm going to pull this wire between the 2 petals and fold it in like that. Now we have this leftover wire on the end and we can just cut it and tuck it. Or we can take our chain nose pliers and we make a little open spiral. Get that in focus. And then I'm just going to fold that down on the back of the bead just to help hold it in place. We can go in and shape the flower a tiny bit if we bent things out of place. If you want to tighten it up, you can squeeze the bends. If a petal has gotten squished, you can manipulate it with your pliers. But there's our first flower. And then all you need to do is add an ear wire. And your earring's complete. Do the exact same thing. And you can make the second earring. Now I said before that if you don't have the ladybugs or you want to use something else, here's one pair of earrings that I put together using the Moshon J stars from the November Gemstone Orphanage box. And then here's a pair of earrings that are just using 8mm. These are pretonite beads. And you can see they work wonderfully as well. And there you have it. A pair of ladybug in a flower earrings. Now, if you'd like this video, we would appreciate it if you would click on the like, and also if you would go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell as well, and that way you'll be notified of any future videos that come along. And if you'd like to learn how to make the ear wires yourself, just hang on here for just a second, and we'll have a link up here in the corner where we will take you to a tutorial that will show you how to make these ear wires. Thanks for coming today.